See here, I have my email I sent to Herbie Hancock. You can see his email address to his management company. The date there circled November 11th, 2015. And it then has where I tell him where I've attached my book, Modal Diatonicism. And then it has down at the bottom here, it has the attachment PDF. Now on the right side, it has the preview of the Modal Diatonicism PDF. And it shows on page 12 reflective relationships of the diatonic modal sets. And it says Aeolian reflects Mixolydian, Ionian reflects Phrygian. And then you get to the next one, and then it says circled Locrian reflects Lydian, and Dorian reflects Dorian. And it also talks about, how you go about the process of reflection. Now, the next picture I have is where June Lee interviewed Jacob Collier, part 1. That's April 14th, 2017. And then in that video, you see where Jacob Collier begins talking about negative harmony, and it shows his Facebook from September 2nd, 2016. And then I go to his Facebook, and then here it is, September 2nd, 2016, discussion about negative harmony. So that's almost a year later. 1 year after I gave my book a copy of the PDF in November 11th, 2015, and then him and Jacob Collier are discussing negative harmony September 2nd, 2016. Now, as soon as I heard about Jacob Collier, I looked up, I watched the video, and he was talking about the guy who came up with it in his book. It's supposedly now Ernst Levy. But I looked the guy up, and I'm pretty sure it was a different name. They had Ernst Levy and Petroschetti all one person at that time. And I looked him up, but it was a different name. And there was like 6 or 7 home video recordings of performances of his music. And it was literally the worst music I've ever heard. The most bland music you've ever heard in your life. A few months later, I look up negative harmony again and Jacob Collier, and it's Levy and Petroschetti. And I look up both their music, and both of them have tons of recordings on YouTube, professional video, professional orchestras and chamber ensembles with excellent performances of real quality music, but it's somewhat generic 20th century, but high quality. So it's like the first time I researched it, when I first heard Jacob Collier, it was several home recordings of the most bland, worst music I think I've ever heard in my life. And then a few months later, it's 2 different names, 2 different books, and they've got tons of professional recordings of excellent music. That's, kind of generic 20th century, though. And, they've redone several books. I don't know how many of you have read Rameau's treatise on harmony, but I read it twice. I read it a few years ago, about 5 years ago, right after I had finished Modal Diatonicism. And then I read it here recently, and there were two different books. They had changed all the language to all the S's were F's, so it was like music, and it didn't have certain sections. It was completely different in the way it was arranged and organized. And I'm sure many of you have noticed who have read it, many music theorists. And I've got a bit of film where I recorded my screen while I was looking on Jacob Collier's Facebook for the proof that him and Herbie Hancock talked about negative harmony first, about a year after I sent Herbie Hancock my book, and I came across a post that day that indicates reflections, in addition to the post that proves that they talked about negative harmony that same day. For heading home, there it is. September 4th, 2016. Pat Metheny and Christian McBride hang at the Blue Note Tokyo. Let me get that louder here. Oh, motherfucker, what the fuck? What was that shit? No way, dude. Look what they did. Now it says September 2nd, 2016. With him looking in the. Look at this shit. What the fuck? He must have put up two posts that day or something. Let's get back down here. Oh, here it is. Negative harmony, fuck yes. Here it is. I've got my proof. Right here. I have my proof. My proof right here. I have it. Fuck yes.